Hey guys, Thunder here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos. Today, we're finally finishing this museum, so let's get to it. Okay, so where we last left off, the bottom floor was pretty much done. I am going to make a few changes. I forgot to put in these like little plaques in the insect room and the axolotl room. And I had said about like Simstagrammable moments in the I've explained in the fish, frog, and insect room where that would be. In the axolotl room, I kind of just think it would be in front of the axolotl painting. It's not as obvious as the other ones, and I don't really know about the other rooms. Back up here in this art room, I'm kind of just trying to. I don't know. It just felt like it needed something else. I do try this rug. I don't remember if I leave it or not. And then I thought maybe have like some space out in here to display like the wooden sculptures and stuff that you can make. But then it was like, well, they have nowhere to make that here anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And actually, when I was pulling the wooden sculptures out, they kept changing on me. So that was interesting. But yeah, I just decided to get rid of that, and I actually add in the flower arranging table and the woodworking table just to sort of give your Sims a little bit more to do here. And because those both deal with like things out in nature, I just feel like they would have that. And as far as the Simstagrammable moment in the hallway, I think it would just be right at the steps where you can see the feathers. Then I was like, I really want these telescopes because you can get those microscope prints, and that's a lot to do with nature is space. So yeah, at least in my opinion, nature and space. I mean, you're outside looking at the stuff. So I do put out a few of the other telescopes as well. They're just kind of shoved back here with the chess tables, but I think either way it would work just fine. And then we're gonna go and work on the space room. Right now, I'm just kind of looking at the different plaques, and then I noticed that we had a seashell one, and I was like, that would be so good to add to this room. I started to delete the fish, but then I was like, no, I kind of like these fish because they're kind of unique and just different. So I do just move them over here because this is like the alcove for the bathroom anyway, so it was sort of a little blank anyway. So I just decided to go ahead and do that. Just trying to search up seashells was not working for me. You'll see here in a minute, I do go to like Island Living debug, and I look and I look and I look, and I just could not find them, but I did find a lot of other cool stuff. So I found these starfish that I pulled out to use, and then I think these are like fan corals or something, and then just a few other things. Like there was some really cool stuff in this debug that I just was like, yes, I want to use this. So I actually come up with a really good use for these fan-like things. I use them as shelves, and am really, really happy with how that came out. It was a good idea. Then just gonna move these like little flowery things around. I'm not really certain what those are actually even supposed to be, but they're really cool. So yeah, just gonna move the starfish around as well. And then this coral is gonna go over here with this treasure chest. And I kind of make it look like the treasure chest is actually in the coral. So I thought that was a fun little addition. Then just trying to figure out where to put this. I do put it over here so that like Instagrammable moment might be a little bit more difficult to use, but I think it would be fine. And then just back on the hunt for the seashells, I just decided to go and grab it off the gallery. Again, if you don't know, a lot of people will upload these out off the or to the gallery, and it makes it so much easier. And then I realized how badly these things were sticking to the wall. So I have to fix that because I really did want to use them. Like I was determined to use them as shelves. I was just it fit so perfectly in this room. it was just such a good idea that really I had to do it. So just trying to figure out how to cover. I was gonna cover with these vines, but it just kind of looked a little weird for it to be the only spot. And if you look in the front of the building, yes, some of the outside of the paint is messed up. I do fix that. I think it's just not on screen. So I do decide just to add a tree here and just to move the bench and the table. It's not the perfect solution, but it's where it was gonna have to be. I mean, I really wanted those in there. And then this tree, I was trying to add other trees just to make it look like it wasn't just a random tree in the this part, but there was just really no way to do that. So yeah. Then just gonna kind of get rid of that room that I had downloaded and just yeah. So now I'm gonna go grab this shelf from Dream Home Decorator. A lot of people use the red shelf, and this will work just like that. You just have to put it to like the right height and everything, and it will work like the red shelf does. And you can still slot stuff through. I think the red shelf has more like you can slot bigger things to it, but this works as well. So if you're someone who can't or does not want to download anything like CC or mods or anything, this is a good option just because it does work well. So I'm just kind of placing them to where I want them, then getting rid of the shelves just to not have to deal with them. But yeah. So we're just gonna place that and then just keep moving things along. I kind of wanted both of each shell because each one seems to have a match to it except for that big conch shell. So I kind of tried to keep those together and then just gonna try and move them out, but that was more difficult than what I thought it would be. So I do get this one out, and then the other one was like completely in the wall, so I had to grab it and then just kind of moving them around to where they're actually like sitting on the shelves. And this came out so much better than I thought it would. Like this is just so pretty and such a fun idea too. I did have to like raise this one up because these like green ones are kind of wavy, and you'll see that here in a moment when I actually go to check them. Um, one of the shells was actually floating. That like little orange snail shell, it was floating bad, but the conch shell was also like poking through the bottom of the shelf. So I kind of tried to fix that one, but then I just end up deciding to move them around to where the conch shell was on the lower part. Yeah, right here. The conch shell is on the lower part, and then this like little orange snail shell is like, I think it may still be floating just like a teeny tiny bit, but I think it's fine. And it made more sense to do it that way, but it came out so nice. And then going back up here to these plaques, I'm just going through and finding the ones that I want and getting rid of the ones that I don't, so I don't have to keep like looking for them. So I'm keeping like the crystal one, the metal one, the fossils, the space ones. I'm trying to think of everything that I kept, but I just there was a lot of stuff. And there was a lot of plaques to go through. I did not realize that we had this many plaques in the game. Um, I know that we have a lot of collections. There's not even a plaque for every collection, but we have a lot of plaques in the game. So, like I said, just kind of going through and doing this and really just trying to figure out what to do next. So I do end up doing this room next, which is the gardening room. Um, there's going to be not so much of a focus on like functional gardening, but more of a focus on just showing the different tools and things and the different ways to display plants and just sort of like that. I do put in this bonsai tree, which is another skill building option. So there is a lot of skill building here that your Sims can do. You can just come, let your kids play on the playground and do a lot of skill building. I do put out a lot of different planters and a lot of different like uh, arrangements of plants. I put out these like gardening tools over here. This little planter, it's not a planter per se, but it is a way to do plants. And then on this table, I'm just kind of putting out some of the most, I think they're like the most rare plants. I got the money tree fruit. Over here, I'm putting the gardening books. I got the dragon fruit and then the death flowers. I did not put out a cow plant berry. I did not think to. And then I did put out a couple seed packets. This little flower, well, not flower, but this like little plant hanger. Just like I said, a lot of different stuff. And then I found these cards that I think the kids can actually make, and I thought they fit in here so well. Um, really, there wasn't much else to add to this room. I think I added a couple of pictures. And after that, I think we move on to the next room. Okay, I had these like little owls and birds and animals and trees. These decals, just because it is, like I said before, I see this being like a kids museum to learn about the different stuff. So, but your older Sims can come and do some skill building as well. And yeah, and then a quick save because I did not want to lose all the progress. So, and then just going in here, I needed a different wallpaper because this is going to be the space room. So I knew which wallpaper I wanted, I just couldn't find it. And then I finally did. It's this one. It looks like Starry Night. So I had a lot of fun with this room because you have, I think, two space collections. There's the space like aliens and then the space rocks. I do go and grab a couple of like tables to display stuff on. And then we're going to start with the rocks. I did find this rocket ship painting. And then these are the rocks that I was talking about. You have like 4 different sizes. So, yeah. Just going to kind of get that in there. I really wanted to show off all 4 though. And then I searched up alien thinking maybe I could find the little aliens. No, but I did find the alien gnome, which I put in. And then just kind of going to go in and put in plaques. And then I really did want like some space prints from like the telescope because you do get like pictures once you've done like every so often from the telescopes you will get like space prints and pictures and things. So I did put in a few, just a few pictures in here and there. And then honestly just trying to figure out the alien collection. That was, I had to go to the gallery and get it. And again, I'm pretty certain I did not do any duplicates. I am not fully certain though that I didn't. I put some of the live ones and then some of the ones in jars. So, yeah. I'm pretty certain though that I mean it doesn't look like any of them are duplicates, so there's that. They're just gonna fix the floor. There's gonna be a lot of fixing the roof up here. Other than that, it was really just a matter of finding those space prints, which was very difficult actually. You'll see me go into a few places, I just could not find them. I finally did though. I found them in the wall decorations under miscellaneous, I think it was. But like I said, I went through a few different places and just could not find them. Yeah, under decorations. And then I went to miscellaneous, and then that was like where everything showed up. So there was that. That was a lot of fun to have to try and find. But I finally did start finding them, and I put a few of them out. I put like I think 4. And I just kind of picked 4 that I really liked the look of, and I thought would fit well in this space. And then as far as a rug goes, I know I did not put one in the into the room with the gardening stuff. And as far as Simstagrammable moments, I think in front of the 4 space prints for this one, and then anywhere really in the gardening room because you can do in front of like any of the plants and stuff. So yeah. And then I was kind of just looking just to see if I couldn't find anything else to add to this room because I mean, yes, it's a small room, but it just felt a little empty. But, that was all I could really find. And then just kind of going to go and grab the fossil plaque. So this last room is going to be fossils, crystals, the geodes, metals, elements, like a lot of stuff. But it is a pretty big room, and I think I do end up getting it all in there pretty well, actually. Just putting out the fossils here. I don't think I put all of them out, but I do put a good bit. I just kind of wanted like a good variety, and then on that top, I wanted to show the progression from like what could happen. Like you start off in the middle with the actual rock, then you go to the broken one, then the fossil one, and then just kind of looking for other stuff. This is the element one, so I did go and grab the element board. Um, and then just kind of trying to figure out about the elements and what I wanted to do there. So I do just grab this table and then I kind of search up element, but they weren't coming up, so I just went to the gallery again. Again, if you're looking for something, somebody has probably uploaded it. So yeah. I just grabbed like this whole shelf and just bring it down, and then I got the idea because I did not want to have to place all of those, so I just kind of hid it in there. I was gonna go and grab another shelf of them, but it just did not. I mean, they were gonna overlap so badly that it just was not going to work. And then just kind of trying to figure out how to make it work, but I end up not. I just kind of leave it. Although there is that one shelf with just one element that I could have used. I'm just now seeing that though, so that was never gonna happen. And yeah, I think I'm gonna readjust the table so that they look like they're in the middle. I just kind of wanted to show off what they look like. That was really the thing for me. And then just gonna put a few of these out over here because this is where the crystals are gonna go. Just trying to figure out which one is the crystal plaque. I did get rid of one. I can't remember what it was, but I did get rid of one. Like I said, I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't something I had kept it because I thought it was something that I was going to need, but then it was like, probably not. So just kind of looking for the crystals now. I do end up just going to the gallery and getting those. I do pull these geodes. They don't go over here. They do go elsewhere, but did pull them. I did find a few crystals. Like I don't know how, but I managed to scroll past the majority of them. So yeah, and then I found this. This is actually like a microscope print, which that would have been a cool addition to add to this museum, the microscope, but I did not put that in here. But that's like a print of like looking at a crystal, and then I really wanted um the pictures of crystals that come with the crystal creation pack. These two, you'll see the other one here. Yeah, right here. I just thought that would be a very good place for it because that's a very informative place. And then just kind of going to look for crystals, I couldn't find it. So I do, like I said, just go and grab this room. It was easier. Unfortunately, I did not have and I went and grabbed metals because I knew they were going to come up too. Unfortunately, I did not have the thought like I did with some of the other stuff to just bring down the whole shelf instead of having to page up and down, up and down, up and down. So for a little bit, you're going to be seeing me page up and down. And I was thinking about just keeping the crystals that I had already used, but I actually decided to get rid of them and make space for other stuff. Not necessarily other crystals, but other stuff. And then just kind of like I said, going through and grabbing stuff and going down and up. It was a lot. Then just trying to figure out, okay, what crystals do I already have? Which ones do I still need? All that. And just kind of making it to where like the smaller ones are all on one thing, the bigger ones are all on one thing, that sort of stuff. And yeah. So, like I said, this is going to be a process because I did not think to just bring down the whole table of them and do it that way. I also did not think to like move some of these out of the slots once they had slotted. So yeah, this is where I'm thinking, okay, wait, why did I just sit here and do all that? I could have just done it like this. So yeah, yeah, and then just kind of gonna finish these two off. And like I said, just looking, and then I was like, well, I can also show what can be done with the crystals. So I go looking for like the crystal creation stuff, but I don't ever really know what to call those. I was thinking maybe gems, but that didn't work. And then I went to hashtag crystal creations, and the yeah, yeah. As you can see, I'm having trouble finding something because people have uploaded like all the different jewelries um from one like all of like the chunky bracelets or something. They've uploaded that, or they've uploaded like all of the stuff that you can make with the one crystal. And I'm gonna go check this person because they had uploaded a lot of stuff, but it was only the jewelry, and I did not want that. I wanted specifically the gemstones. So yeah, it was a hard find actually. I did not think it was gonna be as hard as it was, but it was. Like I said, I do end up finding it from this person. I cannot read that name, and I did not think to remember it. So again, though, you could probably just go on there and find it. If you know what it's called better than I do, that would be easier as well. But yeah, so I'm just gonna like grab a couple of gnomes and put them down here, and a couple of different colors. Just to show what can be done with these crystals. And then I'm gonna grab like a few of these like obelisk things. And I actually get the smarter idea not to have to keep paging up and down and just kind of pull several from one thing, bring it down, pull several from another. So less paging up and down. And then just gonna get rid of the like crystal tree and some of the other stuff. I'm gonna grab some of these skulls. I'm gonna put out a couple of them and then get rid of it. I just wanted like a couple of each of the things, like these plum bob ones. I grabbed the star ones and the heart ones. Let's see here. I think I grabbed the heart ones. Yeah. There are just so many crystals and so many shapes and things that you can make with that pack that it's crazy. I could have put out one of the seeds, but I was also kind of torn where to put the seeds versus like um because like seeds could technically go into the gardening room, but it could also technically go into this crystal room. So yeah. And then honestly, it was like, well, I kind of want to get that crystal creation table. I've got the woodworking table, I've got the floral arranging table. So let me grab that. But then I didn't like where I put it, so I decided to like put it in the middle of the room and grab a second one and put it back to back. So there's that. And then over here is where I'm going to put all these geodes. Like they kind of fit well over there. So just kind of move stuff along and get them in the right positions and trying to make sure that like the colors, not all of like the green or the pink ended up in one spot, honestly. So then just gonna put this here. Then I'm gonna grab a couple more of these like tables and we're gonna put the metals in. Just gonna get rid of this wall over here because I'm actually done with that. And then I actually decided to just make my life a little bit easier and grab this. And for some reason, I kept hitting that, but yeah, and just grab as much of the stuff as I can on one go, so I'm not having to continuously page up and down. And then we're just gonna move it along in there. I did decide to put like these little metal shards. I guess they're metals. They came in the metal room, so I didn't question it. But yeah, I just put them on along the top, and then the bigger ones on the bottom. So that's what we're doing now. Is just grabbing as much of the rest as we can. I tried to fit more in, but it just was not having it. So yeah, just like I said, just gonna put stuff everywhere basically, and grab a few more. Again, I actually forgot to grab it that one time, but yeah. But then it was just like, yeah, we just gotta grab these because I'm tired of paging up and down, to be honest. Then just gonna kind of put them in. Like this was, I was always gonna have to like move these down because of the fact that they just do not snap to these bottom cubbies, and that kind of makes me a little sad that they don't because it makes it harder to place stuff in those bottom cubbies. So, and then I knew I had seen something else that I wanted to put there earlier, but I was also looking for other stuff. So I did put in a few plants. I know that they don't really have anything to do with the geodes or rocks or anything, but I felt like that this room needed a little bit of plants. And then I put these in because these I can't remember what these exactly are, but they kind of fit like they kind of fit over there, so I just kind of went with it. And then just kind of looking through to see what else I can find. Honestly, I was just trying to figure out what else I could put up. And I did find this picture. It kind of looks like I think it's like a microscope print of a snowflake. But I liked it, and I like this pink one as well. So I put those up just to kind of show the differences and things. And then honestly, it was just about looking to see what else I could put because I did want to put more stuff. I put this. This is technically a space print, but I kind of really liked it here because it showed, like, to me, it was like, okay, well, this could show how the gems and stuff form, like how they get to Earth sometimes. And then these two rugs that I put in, it's the same rug, just different colors. I really like them. They looked like geodes or rocks almost, or crystals. And then over here, I had to put in rugs into the gardening area because I forgot. So yeah, and then it was kind of just about looking around to see if there was anything else that was needed or anything that was um missing or that I needed to fix. I did put like this pink stone pathway with flowers right here in the entrance. That's from Cottage Living. And then I kind of just went with brown terrain paint everywhere else. Like it just was easier to do, but I'm not going to make you sit through all of the terrain paint. This will be available for download on my gallery. It's called Magnolia Museum. It's built where the Willow Creek one is built, and my ID is Thunder Shadow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my other videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone!